I thought, I've become impatient with the haiku in the way in which it's been treated in this country, and I've devised a poetic form that's similar, but just allows a little more latitude, I think, and I've called it the parallact. So it's plural if you want to pronounce it as parallax. 2 lines, each of 9 voiced syllables, but it could be 9 voiced syllables and another creepy syllable as well. 2 lines, each of those syllables, in which differing perspectives contend. And here's something here now. Endure now, where not enjoyment take, lest at life's end to nothingness we wake. So that's a parallax.
Can you read it again?
Okay. Well, I'm going to in a minute because I've included it in the poem I'm going to read. So you will hear it again in a moment.
I didn't hear it that time.
Oh, you didn't? All right. Okay, here we are. Endure now, where not enjoyment take, lest at life's end to nothingness we wake. The poem I'm going to read is Remembering Darcy Waters. Darcy Waters was the most impressive person in my lifetime. He was a man a few years older than I. I grew up in Sydney. Darcy died 20 years ago, but he was seen by many people in the 1950s and 60s in Sydney that he was even called the King of the Push. Now, he resented that notion because Darcy, even if he was the best known and most impressive of the members of the Push, and certainly one of the founders of it, that Darcy was a bloke who never published anything, and he never delivered a lecture or a talk to anybody, and yet there was a maturity and a depth in his thinking, and on the few occasions that he spoke. Never threw his weight around at anyone. He was libertarian. He didn't call himself anarchist, but he was libertarian. And this that I've read I composed it in the days after Darcy died in 1997. And I began with a parallax that I'd already written in a more general sense, but I thought it belongs here. If I'm to write about, if I'm to remember someone who himself did not believe that there was any life other than the physical one we lead now. He didn't believe, and nor do I, that there was an afterlife. Neither of us regarded ourselves as atheists, I have to say. But I was talking to the atheists only a week or two back here in Wood End. I'm not an atheist because I can't prove there's no God. But I've got to live my life as though there isn't one. That was Darcy's approach to life. And what did he do? He's a bloke who'd studied his philosophy at Sydney University under the what should we say, notorious Professor Anderson. But what did Darcy do for a living, for an income? He worked on the docks, unloading the ships. So this is my way of remembering Darcy Waters. Endure now where not enjoyment take, lest at life's end to nothingness we wake. Indulgence, debts and trespasses are here attended, paid and paid for when poor time is ended. Social practice seeks to formulate the person, liberty subject to law as self to roll, while care and learning by commandments rule. We must walk firm amidst life's stumblements. Be self, do now, make real, say true. When they find me cold in bed, make smooth my brow, unclench my hands, as livid coins look out my eyes. Tell them I've to phantoms fled and drunk the milk